So in this vlog, Arlo and I, yes you, are going to show you some of our dinner meals that we have on high rotation at our house. These are recipes I know that the whole family eats. They're very easy to prepare, particularly if I'm not home and Andrew needs to prepare the meals, or I can make them ahead of time if we've got a really busy week. So I just thought I'd show you what these meals are. They're very easy to make, but very popular with the whole family. So the first one is called Beef Bean Medley. This is our favourite, Cody's favourite. It's out of this book. I've had this book for a long while now, slow cooker recipes, but pretty much Beef Bean Medley is the meal we cook the most out of this book. Super easy. So in the recipe, you're meant to brown your minced beef, but I never do because I'm short on time. So about 500 grams of mince, just pop in your slow cooker, or brown the mince first and then pop it in your slow cooker. Then I've got onion chopped and some bacon. It says to cook, pre-cook the bacon as well, but I don't do that. So I've got bacon and onion already cut up. Pop that straight into your slow cooker. Like so. Then you've got 2 cans of baked beans. Again, just pop straight into your slow cooker. And then what I've got in here is a can of butter beans that you can just get from the supermarket, and a can of red kidney beans. I've drained those, pop them in your slow cooker. Then I just give that a little bit of a mix through first. And then we've got to make up the sauce. So just in a bowl, I grab, in the recipe it's a cup of tomato sauce. Then half a cup of brown sugar. My little helper Arlo's disappeared already. So half a cup of brown sugar. Then we've got 3 tablespoons of vinegar. And then mix that in so that the sugar dissolves in the mixture. And then pour that into your slow cooker. And then we're going to mix all that in. Like so. Pop the lid on. Yeah. And then cover and cook on low for 4 to 6 hours. So I'll show you the end result. So when it's ready, you can cook, serve it over corn chips. You can serve it with rice, pasta, or we quite often, if you can't bother doing all that, just have it on its own with some sour cream and some grated cheese on top. But give that recipe a go. I'll pop the recipe in the comments for you, but it is our #1 go-to meal for our family. So another meal that we like to enjoy in our house is lasagna, and this is a really great one that I can make ahead of time, and Andrew and the boys can reheat if they need to, or we can eat it fresh, and then we've also got leftovers for the next day as well. So just browning up some mince and onion. I've probably got about 600-700 grams of mince. Because the boys are a little bit bigger now, they do have bigger appetites, so I need to sort of beef up our meals a little bit more. I am going to use the Mum's sauce bolognese. Got 2 of those, but my secret ingredient, which I've been out of for a little while but actually restocked, is the Veggie Hero from Nutri Organics. So it's filled with 15 veggies, fruits and greens, good for growth, immunity and energy. So obviously our boys don't eat a lot of vegetables, but this is a good way to get that into their diet. Plus it actually tastes really nice in the lasagna itself. So I'm just going to add this 2 lots of sauces. And then what I do is add, to get the rest out, I just pop a little bit of water in each jar. Pop the lid on, give it a shake, and then pop that in, and then the same with the second jar. And then with the Veggie Hero, it says about 2 teaspoons, about 5 grams. You can put into juice, purees, smoothies, sprinkle on popcorn, add to scrambled eggs. Ooh, I might try that. Bolognese, soups, sauces, or your favourite savoury family meal. So we're going to do that now. Just sprinkle that over the top. And then we're going to mix that in now. Just going to turn the heat down. So that's all mixed in now, so I'm just going to let that simmer on the oven for about 15 minutes, and I'm going to go make the white sauce, which I'll show you what I do for that one. So I'm about to make the white sauce, and I actually use a recipe for this. So I'm just on the recipecommunity.com.au. This is the Thermomix website. I type in lasagna and do a search. Now the recipe I use is the perfect lasagna recipe, which is that one there. So you can make the lasagna in this recipe from scratch, but I actually just use the white sauce from this recipe, and it always works out like a treat. So I need, so the bechamel sauce, I need 50 grams of butter. So I'll measure that out. So we need to melt the butter for 2 minutes at 100 degrees. On speed 1. So we'll let that melt, and I'll show you the next step. So the butter has melted, so now we've got to add 80 grams of flour. So, and then I like to just give that a bit of a stir in. Then we need to cook that for 1 minute at 100 degrees on speed 1. So the flour and butter has mixed together. Now we need to add milk. We've got to add 600 grams of milk. A little bit more. And we need to add a teaspoon and a half of salt. And then I like to give that a bit of a stir. And then got to mix for 2 seconds, speed 5. Mix all that together, and now we've got to cook for 8 minutes. 8 minutes, 100 degrees, speed 2. So we'll let that cook away, and then we'll start compiling the lasagna. So that's just finished cooking. So there's just one more step. We've got to check that it's all combined. I usually just stick my spatula in, and then got to put on for another 2 seconds. Speed 5. So I'll show you what the end result is. It's a beautiful bechamel sauce. So it is beautiful. Alright, so now we are going to compile our lasagna. Alright, so I'm ready to compile our lasagna. I like to use this dish, quite a large dish, quite deep. I like to use the Latina fresh lasagna sheets. I have tried dried lasagna sheets, but since moving to fresh, so much better. So what I do, I grab about 3 slices. That's the full size. I grabbed 3 of those and just cut them in half, and you'll see why in a minute. So I've just sprayed the dish with oil. We'll do a layer of mince. Spread that around. One more. Then we do a layer of pasta, and because it doesn't fit the whole way, that's why I use that one sheet. Just there. We do a bit of the bechamel sauce. Spread that out to cover the lasagna sheets. Like so, and then I love to use the pizza blend cheese. Works really, really well for lasagna and any sort of even pasta bake as well. Just sprinkle a little bit on that layer. Then we add another lasagna sheet. Another layer of mince. Our boys love this lasagna. And because they're bigger now, they bloody eat so much of it. But normally you would have leftovers, but it's getting harder and harder to get leftovers these days. All right, another lot of lasagna sheets. More white sauce. that out. Like so, some more cheese. I'm just doing a video. Boys are outside. So a layer of cheese. And pasta. And then the last lot of mince. Like so, and then last lot of lasagna. I've got one spare left over, so I'll just put it down the end. And then the last of the white sauce. Rest of the cheese. So I obviously put more cheese on the top layer than I do in the middle. Just break this one up. Like so. And then I'll pop that in the oven about 160 to 180 degrees for about 40 minutes. And then I'll show you the end result. So another really quick dinner that we do that is just handy for us is what we call like fish wraps or some sort of wrap. So tonight I'm just doing barramundi. This is just frozen barramundi. It's got 4 slices in there, so I've actually got 2 packets of these. Just popping them in the air fryer like so. Gonna pop them on. Then we like to use these pita pockets, just the smaller size. I'm just going to let them defrost because I froze those. And what I like to do is just cut the pita pockets in half, put a slice of the fish in the pita pockets, lettuce, tomato, parmesan cheese is really nice, or just a normal cheese, a little bit of salt and mayonnaise, and that is what we call like a fish wrap. Another alternative to the pita wraps, we use tortilla wraps quite often to do the same thing. I think you just put your fish, your lettuce, tomato, cheese in your wrap and roll it up and eat it like a wrap as that. So that is another alternative. So we like this meal because it's quick and easy. It's easy for Andrew to prepare as well. The whole family loves to eat fish. We could do it with fish fingers, chicken strips, or even salt and pepper calamari as well. We do it with that as well. So it's just a really nice, easy, quick meal for our family. So that is what we are having tonight. So tonight I'm cooking one of our other family favorites, which is chow mein. And I'll get the chow mein recipe from the additive-free, oh, that light's not good, additive-free lifestyle cookbook. Joe and Tracy came out with this book, and we use the chow mein recipe. All our family loves it. Andrew and the boys devour it. So it's our favorite here. So just using the Thermomix in here, I've got onion, garlic, zucchini, carrot, capsicum, and cabbage. So we're just going to blitz that for 5 seconds. And meanwhile, I've got some oil heating up. Put the fan on. So just in a bit of a consistency like that. We're going to pour that in there and let that cook away for a couple of minutes. You need a really large saucepan because you've got to have a kilo of beef mince. So I'll just let that cook away for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to add the mince. So I've added the mince, I'm browning that off now. So we've got to add all the other ingredients. So I'm going to add some, the recipe calls for chicken broth. I don't actually have chicken broth, so I just use chicken stock powder, which the broth is actually, the powder. Chicken bone broth powder is optional, but they do call for chicken broth, which I don't have. So I just use the stock powder. Put probably about 3 teaspoons in like so, and then I'll just pop some hot water over the top. Like so. And that's how I do it, and it works out fine for us. I've got to add some Worcestershire. And we're going to add some fish sauce. Some soy sauce or tamari sauce if you prefer tamari. Barbecue sauce. And then some peas and corn. I'm just going to use frozen peas and corn. And I'm just going to mix all that in. And I've got to turn the heat down. And then, once I've just stirred that all in, I'm just going to let that sort of cook away for 20 to 30 minutes. And then I'll cook my noodles after that. So the last part of our meal was just cooking the rice noodles. I like to use this brand here. So you boil some water in a pot, let the noodles sit in the pot for 10 minutes, drain it, and then add it to your chow mein mixture. So it's just these noodles here. So that's it. Chow mein is all done. So we are going to tuck on in and have a really nice dinner.